kind of bummed out. I watched, I didn't watch it. A creator that I really like came by my channel and watched one of my videos. It happened to be one of the last ones I did. And they were really shitty. The last couple. Sometimes you gotta make crap sometimes to get to good stuff. Like, it's kind of like that way with music too. Like, we work out, you gotta work out some ideas, and a lot of them are gonna suck or be crappy. But you gotta do that to get to the good stuff in any creative kind of endeavor. So yeah, sometimes they're just not good. Last couple I did, I was trying to make this connection between the Free Guy movie and how much time you should put into horizontal. It was awful, so I don't want to recap that. But anyway, I was watching Matt over at Quantum of Conscience, like I do quite a bit, and it looks like he's coming more toward on the schizometer, closer to where I and some other people are at. It's like there's this it's not a I was going to say it's not a horizontal thing or a vertical thing. It's just there's different levels in any direction you want to perceive it in of more extreme theory, Matt, I think he's one of the top guys on the platform as far as being able to take some of these far out concepts, make them entertaining. But he's not trying to dumb it down. He's telling you what's going on with him and what he thinks. And then you have like another group of people that are a bit more schizo, and their takes are a bit more out there. Someone like myself. And then you have these dudes that just like drive around in their cars talking code, like, because they're so close to it or out from it that they're kind of hard to follow. So people tend to fall on the spectrum somewhere there, and it seems like Matt's moving more toward over my way of thinking. I only came to this sort of way of thinking of these concepts in a more extreme fashion just from observing them. Like, it seemed like every time I would try to get a handle on on why things are the way they are, or a theory, or come up with a theory about something, or I never go far enough. Like, oh yeah, 7-Eleven was the 7-Eleven job application was an inside job. And then it's like you find out, well, no, these buildings were actually built for that express purpose. It's like there's, as far as I would go, there'd always be a way crazier end to it, or there was more to it that was a bit more out there. So then I just started naturally going more out there with things, my thoughts about things. And this seemed to get me closer to the truth. A lot of this stuff that's discussed, some of it you can never really know. I mean, it's just all theory. It's just fun. We're just throwing the ball around, talking. But a lot of times it seems like people don't go far enough. And he was saying something like that too. Like, he's starting to, especially in respect to the differences between people here. I've kind of maintained that there are different levels of people, or different kinds of people. And in the past, I've been a bit dismissive sometimes about some of the people that I think are not real. I referred to them as assets of the system, not much different than a tree or a rock or just something that's rendered here to be in this 3D area. And I have a friend, Scarlet Spider, who was like, man, you know, you can't really count these people out. And he was right. You can't, because there was a point where I was, I didn't know any of this stuff, and I was securely in the matrix, in my pod. It's a gradual process. These kind of things have a cumulative effect on you, where it's like, just, it doesn't happen overnight. But sometimes you can look at a situation or a person and you can see, like, there's just no way I'm getting this dude over to this side. Because there's just things, you can just tell. You can kind of sense that on some kind of level, on some kind of spiritual level. You know, you just know that the person, whatever, whoever, is a drone. Or just some kind of asset of the system that's created to take up space. I talked about this a lot. Like, how many people out on the street with you are real like you are? And I don't like to say real, because that implies that, you know, they're less than human. That's a dangerous kind of way to talk, you know. That's how you get to genocide. Not that that's what I would ever advocate for, but there's something, I had to say that. Like, I would hope people would have known that without me having to make a disclaimer that, you know, I really wouldn't do genocide. But there's a big difference between someone who can, you know, has an inner monologue, can picture an apple in their head, having a connection to divinity, to some of these other, like, mouth breathers that just don't seem to, you know, you can tell. I don't really know how to describe it, because I don't want to say anything disparaging about certain kinds of people, like, you know, mention a kind of job or whatever where you see, you know, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. That happens to me sometimes. I'll be in the middle of a point and I lose it, you know. Sometimes I'll be going up trying to make a video in the other room, and my girl will be like, what are you talking about in there? And I'll just be like, I don't know, you know. You know, that's the ping I was mentioning the other day. Like, there's like this ping. It's this idea that many of the electronic devices, I said electronic devices, it was a Freudian slip there, a Freudian slip. These electronic devices, yeah, I just did it again. These electronic devices and the electronic grid that kind of surrounds everything, the interconnectivity of all this stuff, creates a situation where you can be pinged for whatever reason. I don't know what the reason would be, or the timing would be to get pinged, but sometimes you'll be in the middle of describing something, or working out something, or telling a story, and you'll just, like, forget what the fuck you were talking about, reset and start from the beginning. I used to just assume this was because I was getting old, and it was like an Alzheimer's thing, or it was all the aluminum cans of Diet Coke in the 80s. But this person made a case, and it was someone on a board. They made a good case for this ping situation, where your consciousness gets pinged when you're in describing something, or you're thinking of something, you're trying to work something out. It happens to me all the time. The thing is, the people that maintain and run the technological infrastructure, the energy, connectivity of things that we use, I think they have an idea of what frequencies, well, I'm certain they do, of the frequencies that people are on. Maybe not individually, or perhaps individually. I don't know. I think that's where a lot of harassment could come into, like the gang stalking and that kind of stuff. But if they know your frequency, they know your radio station. It's like, if you listen to a radio station in your town or something, whatever, like a talk radio station, the 92 point whatever, you can put that on in your car, you can put that on in the living room, you can put that on in, your backyard, well, because you know the frequency, you know the number there. So in that way, I think they've got our number, and they can do things that affect us in a very, it's mind control, or it's people control. And that ties in a little bit to people that seem to be minions or dronish, or don't have their own thoughts, or come across like organic portals. Is it maybe they really got those people's number? I don't know. Could be. But I do kind of want to give people a chance, because people can come out of it. But some of them you just know. You just know it's just not going to happen. But even if you don't know what kind of people they are, you still kind of want to treat everybody as if they are, the same as you. You don't want to end up, being like our farmer masters, that the way they treat us. You want to hope that everybody's got a chance to take the scales off their eyes. And again, it comes back to the Veilbro thing. That technology is breaking down. Matt was talking also about people not getting the download, and how perhaps we have detached from reality. I don't think we've detached from reality so much. I think he's more on the track with the download thing. Like, this area updates. And I think the area updates based on our consciousness, because we have this shared consciousness that creates all this stuff and runs this whole place. They're using our ability to create things out of nothing to create our own prison for us. They seed things in our mind about how they want society to be. You can turn on the news and they're telling you all these people are dying from this, there's a pandemic on and all these people are dying. And in your mind, you're thinking of like what goes along with that. All these years of Hollywood movies of, people putting plastic over their houses and, bodies being burned with kerosene. And you start imagining these things in your head. And if you get enough people imagining these things, well, then it creates it. Evil cannot create. I don't know what the deal is with that, but they can't create. Not in this realm. We're the only things that can make anything here. So the idea is to convince us through whatever means necessary to create the world for them. And to that end, that's why I think they have a lot of our number, because I think they would spend all their time and energy trying to figure out which frequencies we're on. We can only see a very small band of frequency in this avatar body thing we're in. We can't perceive a lot of stuff. It's only a very small band that we're able to see while we're broadcasting to these suits, these 3D body suits. So I think they're way ahead of us there. The good news is, though, whatever system they use to facilitate this action, as I mention almost every video, it's breaking down, it's falling apart. And I think it may be a lot of different variations on the technology, but I think at its core, it's the same force. And I'm pretty sure it's our own force. They use, the technology they have isn't its own power source. It's a way to change our power to make the things they want, whether that's the amnesia juice, the download thing, the veil of whatever holographic cover is on top of the organic level here. It all derives from us. We're the ones who are doing all this. But when I say their technology, it's their ability, whatever tools they're using to transfer our energy into the world around us. And they're using that to create the world they want by seeding things in our mind to make us even think that where we think or feel or a certain way, so that it'll manifest itself here in the 3D area. I don't know if I explained that well. My record of explaining things well is not great, but hopefully there's something in there. I'm gonna go wander around Long's. Don't blame the teacher, blame the school.